It might only be 28 days long, but this year we're managing to stuff an incredible amount of Xbox goodness into February, so here's a quick peek at everything that's on the way. So, on February 2nd, Kyoken Interactive will be bringing us another atmospheric sci-fi adventure in the shape of Deliver Us Mars. And don't worry if you're not in that day though, I'm sure they can get one of your neighbours to sign for it. Anyway, the sequel to Deliver Us the Moon begins with a stress call from Mars that might just represent humanity's last hope for survival.
Following it won't be easy though, as the brutal red terrain you'll encounter is sure to test both your brains and your brawn. But if you can make it through, you'll be rewarded a suspenseful, spacey tale that's quite literally out of this world.
If you're looking for a super romantic adventure this Valentine's Day, then send an alluring glance in the direction of 10 Dates. This live-action narrative adventure puts you right in the middle of a rom-com starring a pair of hopeless romantics named Misha and Ryan. This starry-eyed pair sign up for a speed dating experience that places them both in front of 5 potential partners. And where things go from there is entirely up to you.
Will you find love, Sam? I hope so. I mean, hey, who knows? At least you'll definitely find some major laughs. On the other hand, if you're more in the mood for a bloody Valentine, then Wanted Dead might be the best match for you. From the makers of Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive, this intense actioner follows a hard-boiled Hong Kong cop as she takes on mercenaries, gang members, and private military contractors. Combine fast-paced gunplay with brutal finishing maneuvers to set the city to rights in style.
With its cyberpunk setting and hard-as-nails combat, Wanted Dead puts a futuristic spin on the hack-and-slash genre while still staying true to the sadistic spirit that we all know and love. Now, on the other hand, there's nothing quite like a trip down memory lane, especially when said lane has been spruced up as quite as beautifully as Tales of Symphonia Remastered. This beloved JRPG makes its grand return so that you can enjoy its epic story of good and evil once again. Play as the Chosen One all the prophecies we're yammering about and unite the people in a battle for freedom, friendship, and, other nice things.
And hey, good news for us, Sam, because you can even tag in up to 3 real-life buddies to play in local co-op, unlocking the possibility for all sorts of devastating finishing moves in the process. With gorgeous new visuals and improved gameplay, this is the definitive version of an all-time classic. Since love is always in the air around this time of year, it only makes sense that we'd have not 1, but 2 heart-based titles for you. The first is Wild Hearts, a monster hunting action RPG from the creators of the Dynasty Warriors franchise. Take on gigantic beasts across a series of huge maps, wielding 8 different types of weapons in the process as you gradually tailor your loadout to suit your fighting style. Whether that means cutting your enemies to the quick with a katana or beating them with an umbrella.
Okay, that second one doesn't sound nearly as effective, but it might be quite demoralising for the critter on the receiving end. Battered by a brolly. Anyway, the hunt begins on Xbox Series X and S on February 17th, 2 days after my birthday, while Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members will be able to take part in an early access trial from the 13th thanks to EA Play. Alright, next up on the calendar is our second cardiac event scheduled for February, and that is Atomic Heart, which is coming straight to Xbox and PC Game Pass on the 21st. This science-fictional shooter takes place in an alternate universe of 1955, where certain events lead to an explosive advancement in robotics technology, which has then led to an even more explosive robot uprising.
Killer machines and mutant creatures are now running amok, and society is rapidly crumbling, so it's up to you, a slightly disturbed officer of the law with a superpowered glove, to try and put things right, which I'm sure is going to go just fine. Released in the West for the very first time, this stunning remake of Like a Dragon Ishin takes the Yakuza in a bold new direction. Specifically, it takes it backwards to 1860, where a samurai warrior named Sakamoto Ryoma is about to write his name into history. Although he also needs to clear his name over a false murder charge and find the person who killed his father. So yeah, it's a busy time in store for old Sakamoto.
Putting a fun spin in on the series' classic brawler style, Ishin lets you switch between a variety of fighting styles to overcome your enemies, calling on your trusty katana, old-timey pistols, and your bare hands in the process. The Super Bowl is all well and good, but the real gridiron action comes a couple of weeks later on the 23rd, when the third entry in the Blood Bowl series comes crashing in. A sport that's all about giant people smashing into one another was made for the bloodthirsty inhabitants of Warhammer Universe, and for gamers who think sport is missing mythical brutality.
I mean, it must be popular, Sam, because more of that lot are getting in on it than ever before this time around. The Chaos Renegades, the Black Orcs, and the Old World Alliance will all be coming out to play in Blood Bowl 3 as the series serves up another round of brutal strategy action. Houston, we have liftoff. Or almost, anyway. As adorable as they are, the Kerbals aren't always the most reliable engineers, which is why their second space program will be launching into early access on the 24th, ahead of its full release.
This way, PC players get to grips with a whole new generation of tools. They can begin learning how to build their very own space colonies and even go all Matthew McConaughey by dabbling in interstellar travel. And once a few of the kinks have been worked out, Xbox Series X and S players will be able to get in on the action later in the year. You'd have thought by now that humanity would have learned that when a colossal alien spaceship suddenly appears in the Earth's sky, you should just leave it alone, leave it be, and ignore it, and basically just see if it goes away. Sadly, the Scars Above team don't take that approach, and things work out particularly badly for Dr. Kate Ward, who finds herself flung across the galaxy and battling to survive against all manner of extraterrestrial creatures.
I mean, she's a scientist, not a soldier, but that won't stop her doing whatever it takes to survive over the course of this intense third-person actioner. Naturally, February is also gifting us some glorious new content to soothe our aching hearts. Season 2 of Warzone 2.0 kicks off on the 15th and will see the return of the 1v1 gulag, along with the addition of 5 new weapons and a host of quality of life improvements and clever tweaks to make this battle royale experience even better.
Finishing off the month with a bang, the next big chapter in Destiny 2's epic tale arrives in the form of Lightfall. This time around, players will be travelling in the futuristic metropolis Neomuna to join the fight against the Shadow Legion. I don't know how we're going to cram all this stuff into a mere 28 days, but I cannot wait to try. Anyway, let us know what you're most excited about this February down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.